Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tim here, back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about things you can do between seasonal jobs. I put a video out the other day and I asked people to give me video topic ideas for future videos. And surprisingly, like 3 people asked me to talk about, what I do between my seasonal jobs. And I thought this was a great topic. I was surprised like anyone would care what I did, but then I realized that I think it's not so much what do I do, but they're asking kind of like for ideas and options. So I'm going to talk about what I do and then kind of some other options maybe. So real quick, what I used to do was that I always went back home to Florida. I put the air quotes up because I don't have a home or an apartment or anything that's mine that I go back to. A lot of people do. A lot of the younger people who do seasonal work, they go back to their parents' home between seasonal jobs. Excuse me. A lot of, say, some of the older people or who, some of your retired senior citizens or whatever, they go back to houses they already have that, might be paid off and or maybe not paid off, but a lot of them have dwellings that they go back home to and, they do maintenance and upkeep, whatever, and then they'll go to another seasonal job. I, however, don't have that, but I did used to go back to Florida because that was kind of home for me. I usually go to this little town called Lake City that I lived for many years, and I would either stay with friends. I used to stay with my ex-girlfriend a lot, and also there was this little like 2.5-star, 2-star hotel. The guy would let me stay there for $200 a week, so I'd stay there 3 weeks, maybe a month. And I would just kind of hang out with friends and, just rest up and, just kind of felt good to be back in an area that I lived for a long time. So that was kind of what I used to do, just go back to Florida. However, I've decided I'm not going to be doing that anymore. For one thing, it just seemed kind of like I was backtracking. Like I'm going out to all these cool places and working and meeting new people and doing all this new stuff. And then at the end of that, I go back home to Florida. And I have some really good friends there that I enjoyed seeing. But let's be honest, you got 3 weeks just to sit around and do nothing. You're going to pull the old black book up and call up some people you probably shouldn't be hanging out with. And, it just seemed like I always left Florida in not the best space, like mentally. So I said, from now on, I'm not going to be doing that. If I'm doing these seasonal jobs and I'm making this great progress, feeling great, I'm just going to keep the momentum going and I'm going to just travel. So that's my new thing. I think I'm going to take the time between my seasonal jobs to travel overseas if possible. That's what I did this time. Well, not overseas, but out the country or overseas. That's what I did this time between my job at the Y and my job at Glacier. I'm here in Mexico. And then I have like a week kind of travel through the U.S. to Glacier. I think that's what I'm going to do between my jobs from now on. Travel somewhere off the country if, that's financially possible at the time. And then come back and make my way to the place I'm going to be working. Also, there are some cities or places within the states where I might not be able to work seasonally, but I really want to see. They're kind of on my bucket list. For example, I'd love to spend a few days in Seattle, a few days in New York City, just some things I want to see and do there. I'll probably, maybe on my next break between jobs, travel to them, maybe on like the Greyhound, spend a few days in each one of them. But basically just come up with trips and places to go. So, I'm not just sitting somewhere waiting between jobs. But I don't think I'm going to be going back. Maybe once a year, I might go back home to Florida. Maybe if I can get some time off ever when I'm at a job for the holidays, maybe go back home and to Florida and hang out with friends for that. But that's kind of what I do. Now, if you really don't want to do that, say you're trying to save up some money and you really don't want a break between your jobs, you can set it up so that you don't really have that big a break, which is one of the things I love about seasonal work is you are kind of in control. For example, a girl I work with at the Y, when she left the Y, she immediately flew to Alaska and had like 1 day off and then she started her new job. So you can set it up so that there isn't a break between jobs if you don't want one. If you just want to work, stack up your shekels, and just do it that way, you can. Or if you want a shorter break, you can. Basically, you just need to know when your excuse me, when your current job is ending, and then decide when you want your next job to start. And some companies have set start dates, set end dates. Other companies are a lot more flexible. Some may have set start and end dates, but they can work with you. For example, when I called Glacier, where I'm going next, I said, I don't want to start until the first week of June. And they said, okay, we can have you do this position because that's kind of when it starts. So there's flexibility within the companies, but also kind of within different places you go. Some places don't have set seasons. They're just kind of like, when can you show up? You know, some places are open year round. So they'll be like, when can you show up? So if you want a month off, you tell them, hey, this is the day I can show up. You get a month off. So that is the big thing about seasonal work. It's very flexible, and you can decide what you want to do. You can, when you know your end date, decide what you want to do, how long you want to take, and then you start looking for your next job. Like me personally, I like to buy the tickets for what I'm going to do in advance. And then that way, hey, when I'm looking, there was the Florida accent came out, looking. When I'm looking, excuse me, for my next job, I already know, well, I'm busy doing the stuff I want to do until this date, so I can't start until this date. So it's really up to you. I mean, whatever you want to do between your jobs, do it. Like, you don't have to travel. You can. A lot of people, yeah, like I said, just go home and hang out with friends and family. They love it. Or you can travel, or you can, I don't know, spend some time in the city you are working in without having to go to work. I mean, it's totally up to you. If you get into seasonal work and you see the freedom and the flexibility, it's something that you'll love. Like, that is something that I never saw before, was people in this much control of their working life. Like all my friends now in seasonal work, I love just like when a season's about to end, or when it's a time when a lot of people are leaving. It is just so cool to like ask, what are you doing? Where are you going? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's not only cool, their next job is always awesome, but then it's cool hearing about what they're going to do in the interim. Like I love it. I just love knowing so many people who are doing so many things. So that is my answer to that question, what I do between seasonal jobs. I just make sure I save up enough money so that I can finance whatever it is I'm doing, so that I can take that month off or that 2 weeks off or whatever it is. The good thing is, when you get to your next job, if you're working at places where room and board is included, as soon as you get there, you're good. Like, when I get to my next seasonal job, I'm not going to need money because it's free room and board. Well, it's not free room and board, but room and board is included. So I don't want to say blow, but if I spend all my money on the time between the two jobs, it's not a big deal, because even though it might be 2-3 weeks before I get another paycheck, I don't really need any money. I'm going to eat and I'm going to have a place to stay. So that's super cool too. So the budgeting isn't as bad as you might think, because you don't have to be like, well, I have a month off and then 3 weeks before I get a paycheck, so I need to save enough money for like 2 months. Nah, you just have to save enough money so you can get to your next job, and then you're good. Like, it's another one of those good benefits of seasonal work. That's why I'm always talking about it. Seasonal work isn't for everyone. Some people might do it just one job and then be done with it. Some people might not even finish the job. It's not for everyone, but if you can make it work for you, it's awesome. And having the opportunity to choose how long of a vacation you get between jobs, who else gets to do that? No, nobody else gets to decide, oh, I want to take 2 months. Oh, I want to take 2 weeks. I want to take 2 days. No one else gets to decide this. It's very rare, I should say, other than, like people who own the business, that you have that much power over your life and your downtime and your breaks. So thank you for watching. If you have any other questions about seasonal work, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below. Check out my seasonal work playlist, because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on seasonal work, just because I get a lot of questions about it. And I see some other people making videos about it. and I have to maintain my status as the person with the most videos about seasonal work. This YouTube thing gets kind of competitive at times. Maybe that's just me. So I need to make more videos about seasonal work so I can stay at the top. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.